Pat McGovern, fundador y presidente de IDG Communications, visitó hace unos días la filial española del grupo que edita en nuestro país las publicaciones Computer World, Dealer World, Network World, Macworld y PC World y mantiene al día a los lectores interesados en las tecnologías de la información a través de la web idg.es. McGovern nos explica los importantes cambios experimentados por el mercado editorial en general y en el grupo en particular, derivados en gran parte del auge de Internet. Además, el directivo se muestra optimista en lo que al crecimiento de las inversiones en TI se refiere, a pesar de la complicada situación económica mundial. Hace 44 años creó el grupo editorial IDG al fundar su primera publicación, Computer World. El mercado editorial ha cambiado mucho en estos años. ¿Cuál es su visión del mismo y de las tendencias que imperan en las publicaciones especializadas en TI?
Well, I think the major trend has been the move from information services being things you create and deliver to the audience, such as you might do in print publications, to a more interactive relationship with the audience, much more like when you give a conference or seminar. You're a keynote speaker and your panelists and the workshop people are giving the official content from the experts, but now the audience can give questions and comments and ideas. So a website is like an electronic meeting. You can give a lot of information from your editors, but you also invite the audience to give their feedback and questions and ideas and share their best practices. So, looking backwards, we have 120 million people who read one or more of our 300 magazines and newspapers. But we've been growing our web-based business. Now we have 200 million people who visit one of our 450 websites once or more every month. So already our online audience is 60% bigger than our print audience. And as we go to the future, we'll see that growing because the web will now be delivered on your mobile phone. With 3G broadband wireless, web access is immediately available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can not only see the information, you can pull it up on demand.
A la vista del auge de los medios online, ¿cuál será entonces el rol de los medios impresos? ¿Qué futuro les espera?
Well, in the B2B side, where you have a job to do, then you want to get the news information as quickly as possible and the sort of new application information, and you'd like to find out what other people who are doing your job in other companies, are doing. You want to share a lot of best practices and information. So the print will probably be for longer stories like technology trends and application case studies. We have 200, 300, 4,000 words. People don't like to read, more than maybe 400 or 500 words online because it's not that easy on your eyes to read a lot of the text on the screen. In the B2C side, we think there's a long-term, future for the print because people are not. This is not something that they are doing as their career, but something they just want to find out how to use a PC effectively. If they're a doctor or a banker or a teacher. And so if we give them a PC world, and they spend an hour or two every month, they're very happy they get to know all the new techniques. And if they have some special question, they can go online and get some data. But we think where it may be the majority of the revenue from the B2B will be online, that in the B2C maybe only be 20 or 25% will be online and the rest will still be in print. And then of course there's the category of the consumer magazine that is special interest by fashion or travel or cooking or and those are more emotional experiences. So that type of publication probably their print will still be 90% of their activity in the future.
En IDG hay algunas publicaciones que han dejado de ser editadas en papel para estar presentes solo en Internet, como es el caso de InfoWorld. ¿Podría explicarnos este caso?
Yes, that was the first time we took a major magazine. We were publishing every week and 180,000 copies, so it was a very important product. But we could see that the trend line of advertising was dropping, and we were starting to lose money, and we had to say it doesn't look like that there would be any uptick in growth that would continue to have flat or negative advertising support for the print. Meanwhile, the online was growing very rapidly. And so we said maybe this is the time to try the experiment. Should we stop print? And then a lot of people said, well, if you stop print, you won't have the copy around on the desk. People won't, like every print is a branding advertisement for your name. They thought you would disappear in the name. And then the advertising people who are in print, may also be buying online and events. So if they don't see a print, they may not be, willing to support you from the rest of the activity. But we said, let's see what happens anyway. And so we stopped the print, and for the first 2 months, the competition said, they're going out of business totally. This is the first step, stop print, then stop online, stop events. But of course we kept saying, that's our strategy to be a web-centric company. So then about the third month, we found all the readers of print, were spending much more time online, and our audience was growing. So we looked a year later, and we said, when we stopped print, it was about 40% of our revenue. And we said we would normally have expected the revenue to decline with losing that much revenue. Well, actually, the online revenue doubled, and so we actually had about a 10% growth in print. But the big difference was we were losing minus 3% profit margin with the big losses from print. And without the print, we had higher growth in revenue, but we had 37% profit margin. So it's very profitable.
¿Cree que esta experiencia de dejar de publicar un medio en papel para estar presente solo en Internet se replicará en otros medios del grupo?
Well, our idea, since print is a declining sector, as soon as it starts to lose money, we tell people they should either find a way to reduce expenses so they can break even, or if they can't have a break even, then they should consider stopping the print and just focusing on the online and events. And the result is, very good.
El mercado europeo es más tradicional en lo que respecta al uso y adopción de Internet que el mercado estadounidense. ¿Cómo cree que evolucionará esta tendencia en el viejo continente?
In Western Europe, it's like in between. I think we have about 20% of our business is online. In the U.S. we have 43% online. So, but other countries have 5 or 6% online. So you're right there. And it will just be evolving.
¿Cuál es el crecimiento del grupo IDG a escala internacional? ¿Qué expectativas tiene para este año?
Yeah, globally, well, probably the revenue growth will be about, I think about 20%, and the profit growth about 70%. So each of the last 5 years, our profits have been going up by almost 100% a year because of this transition to the online, which is so much more profitable. And the revenue growth is, 15 to 20% or so worldwide, because we're always adding new countries and new projects within countries, so we're having more activities.
La actual situación económica es complicada. ¿Cree que la inversión en TI de las organizaciones disminuirá debido a esta crisis?
Well, it will vary year by year. Here in Spain, it's been strong, about 9% a year. I think worldwide we see about 7% IT growth this year. And I think in 2009 and 2010 it will be about that level, 8 to 10% growth worldwide, with India, China growing at 15 or 18% for IT, and other countries growing, and more U.S. growing maybe about 4% for IT.